we're going to be playing the Steam release, and this is the way to play Dead Space these days. Because while copies for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 are very common and very cheap, they don't run as well. Dead Space has had the benefit of being routinely patched for several years. So now the game just runs like greased lightning. So if you have the option to play it on PC, play it on PC. Typically not a market quality, but a broken clock is light at least twice a day. And I love this title screen. Aside from the fact that the title itself is great, the sound of industrial equipment, the organic haze, and the demonic text you see, it just perfectly represents the game that Dead Space is attempting to be. And then you go to the menu, which is like a holographic menu, and you realize it also takes place in a futuristic setting. So really good design there. Now bear with me folks, this loading screen does take a little bit of time, not terribly long. And for this opening, because it's really good at what it does, I'm going to be quiet for most of it, but once it's all said and done, I am going to speak up. As soon as we get to it. Oh, so that's how you spell Isaac.
Isaac, it's me. I wish I could talk to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about everything. I wish I could just talk to someone. It's all falling apart here. I can't believe what's happening. It's strange. Such a little thing.
How many times you watched that thing? Guess you really miss her. Don't worry, we're almost there. You'll be able to look her up once we're on board. Sounds like you do have a lot of catching up to do.
All right, everyone, we're here. Sinking our orbit now.
All this trouble over that chunk of rock.
Deep space mining is a lucrative business, Miss Daniels. Aegis 7 is a gold mine according to prospectors' reports. Cobalt, silicon, osmium. Now, where is she? There she is. We have visual contact.
So that's Ishimura. Impressive.
The USG Ishimura. Biggest planet cracker in her class. And it looks like they already popped the cork.
Why is it all dark? I don't see any running lights.
Corporal, take us in closer and hail them. And stay clear of that debris field. We're here to fix their ship, not the other way around.
USG Ishimura, this is the emergency maintenance team of the USG Kellion responding to your distress call. Come in, Ishimura.
You're gonna need to boost the signal if it power's low.
Yes, we know. Boost the signal. More.
Never heard of a total communications blackout on one of these things. You'd think with 1,000 people on board, someone would pick up the phone.
What is that?
It's a busted array like we thought. Sounds like they're having problems with their encoder. You get us down there and Isaac and I can fix it. 48 hours max.
All right, you heard the lady. Take us in. Let's see what needs fixing.
Gravity tethers engaged. Automatic docking procedures a go.
Oh boy.
What the hell?
Sir, the auto dock.
What is it?
We're off track. We're gonna hit the hull.
Hit the blast shields. Their guidance tether's damaged. Switch to manual, now.
Inside the magnetic field? Are you insane? Abort!
No! We can make it inside. Corporal, gave you an order. Is everyone okay?
What? What the hell were you thinking? Were you trying to get us killed?
I just saved our asses, Miss Daniels. If we had aborted at that speed and distance, we'd have smashed right into the side of the Ishimura. Now settle down, let's get to work. Corporal, report.
I'm not getting any readings from the port booster, and we've lost comms and autopilot. It'll take some time to fix.
All right, let's get some extra hands from flight deck to help out.
Hold still, Isaac. I'm syncing up everyone's rig with the ship. Okay, we're done. Clean bill of health for everyone.
All right, we've still got a job to do. We're moving out.
And so it begins.
Use run to move quickly.
Thanks. It's not like I haven't played this game a bunch of times.
Welcome, CEC employees, to the
You didn't lose power to the port booster. You lost the port booster. Unbelievable.
And is now the oldest serving.
Oh, that's what she's talking about. Neat.
Service. It holds the record for highest number of planet cracks, with 34 to date, and highest dead weight of refined product at 14 trillion kilotons, and counting. Whether you'll be joining us aboard the Ishimura,
Guess the power's down everywhere.
the extraction
Isaac, get over here and hack the door pad.
captain and crew would like to
Okie dokie.
and we hope your stay is a pleasant one.
Look for blue holograms to activate.
Powering humanity into the future.
Anybody home? I guess not.
Seems like everyone was trying to pack in a hurry.
There should be a security detail in here.
Yeah? Well, there's not. There's nobody here. I can't pick up any broadcasts.
But that security console's still live. Isaac, log in and see what you can find. Kendra, get that
Can do.
elevator back online.
Power's dead. I can't.
Then reboot that damn power. Look, if we all cooperate, we can figure this out a lot sooner. Let's get that computer display up, Isaac.
Okay.
Use the locator system to find your next objective.
Right.
Huh. That doesn't look good. She's taken a lot of damage.
Who is the engineer
The power
here?
system's offline. Getting around is going to be difficult. The air seems to be flowing again. That's a start.
What the hell was that?
Automatic quarantine must have tripped when the filtration system restarted. Everybody relax.
What was that? Did you hear?
Not sure.
The hell? I don't know. Something's in the room with us.
Jesus! Open fire! Open fire! Kendra, power! Kendra!
Come on.
Oh, boy.
Come on. Got it.
Isaac, get the hell out of there!
Running, running. Oh, curse these heavy boots.
Run, Isaac! Get the hell out of there!
What do you think I'm doing, lady? Ow, hey. Oh, that's close. Oh. Hello, beautiful. Kids, always remember, don't stick your head between two doors like that. Also, if kids, you are watching this, you really shouldn't be. Okay, so we're off to a running start here, aren't we? So, the reason I tried to speak as little as possible during that opening is because it was just so beautifully done. I'm going to say right now, Dead Space is a very cliche game, and honestly, the story does go off the rails as you approach the end of the game. But the opening hours of this game are just fantastic. As soon as you see the Ishimura, you just know something really bad is going to happen. It's like in the first Alien movie as they're approaching the space jockey ship. You just know they shouldn't go in there. And it's also really good about expositing about the world Dead Space takes place in, with planet cracking and how we have to take resources from other planets, and also providing us with a clear motivation for Isaac, who is a really interesting character in regards to horror protagonists, because while he is a member of a military outfit, he's an engineer first and foremost, which creates an interesting skill set for a horror game in regards to both combat and puzzle. So yeah, we're doing really well so far. Alright, so let's get a move on here. Cut off the limbs. Anyone who's ever played this game knows what they're talking about.
Off enemies for extra damage. Use melee to knock back an enemy for a quicker escape.
Right. Sounds like someone needs my help, so I better open up that door. Okay, so now that we got that taken care of, let's go ahead and talk about the controls. So, if you haven't noticed by now, Dead Space drops the fixed camera angles and tank controls in favor of a full analog movement and a free reign camera system. It also has the over-the-shoulder aiming that Resident Evil pioneered. Though, unlike Resident Evil, where you could really only move forward and slightly to the side, Isaac can actually strafe, and he can even move while he's shooting too. Now, you would think that would be bad for the experience, especially if you played Resident Evil 4, but it's actually good for Dead Space, well, because even though Isaac can move and shoot at the same time, you can sort of tell he can't move very fast. Looking at that suit as well as Isaac's general posture, you can sort of tell he's not the most mobile of guys, which is good for the experience because Dead Space is a game where you want to keep enemies as far away from you as possible, and the general controls are in service of that. Another thing I really like about Dead Space are your weapons, rather than traditional weapons like pistols, shotguns, and all that stuff. Your weapons are depicted as futuristic power tools, and that's cool because, again, it plays into Isaac's background as an engineer, but also in the fact that you need to use unconventional tactics to deal with the necromorphs. You can't just shoot them in the body, you can't just shoot them in the head. In fact, I think shooting them in the head makes them more dangerous. You have to cut them off with the limbs, which also makes for an interesting gameplay hook. So, yeah, really good start here. A lot of interesting things are happening. And dude, I've always loved the graphics in Dead Space, though they are showing their age to some degree, especially when you look at the character models. The look of the ship is just incredible. Compared to something like Star Trek, which has a very hyper-clean depiction of the future, or the space western style of Star Wars with its rustic technology, the technology in Dead Space is very industrial. It seems like the ship was created primarily for its function in mind, with how much thought paid to, aesthetics or creature comforts. It's like the whole thing is one giant factory or complex machine, like something you'd see at Steel Forge.
This is Benson. Everybody listen up. They're using the vents. That's how they're getting around the ship. Stay away from down. Get back. Get back.
Yeah, just like System Shock, it relies on text and audio logs in order to tell its story. Better than Dead System Shock DNA there.
Isaac!
As you can see, it also has traditional cutscenes as well for story progression.
Isaac, we ran into more of them on the way over here. Are you okay?
More what? What the hell are those things? Is that the crew?
Keep your voice down. Whatever they are, they're not friendly, and half the doors on this ship are locked because of the quarantine. Now, we have to get to the bridge. But first, we gotta repair the tram system.
You're crazy, Hammond. You're gonna get us all killed.
If you listen to me, I will get you out of here alive. Now, what's wrong with the tram?
The data board is fried, but there should be a spare in the maintenance bay. There's also a broken tram blocking the tunnel that needs to be repaired. Damn it! Everything is on the other side of this quarantine. We can't reach it from here.
No, we can't. But you can. Isaac, if I can get to the bridge, I should be able to access the personnel files. You fix the tram, and I'll help you find Nicole.
I feel like we sort of switched topics there all of a sudden. Are we talking about trading the tram? Why did Nicole come up? But that is important for story because, like, you're in Isaac's shoes right now, and even though we don't know a whole lot about Isaac, you do really hope that his girlfriend is still alive somewhere on this hellhole. Alright, let's get going. As for the voice acting, it's okay. It's nothing special. Dialogue can be a little ham-fisted, like I said. It seems like they switched topics midway through that conversation. But after you played the original Resident Evil, nothing seems that bad anymore, especially for horror games. Oh yeah, so this right here. So, Dead Space, you kind of get the sense, was initially intended to be a non-linear experience, but when they were told to make it more action-oriented, they probably decided it was best if they kept you railroaded. So you always have this on hand to point you in the direction you need to go. A lot of people don't like that. They call it hand-holding. Though, and I understand that, but for the sake of pacing, I don't really mind it.
Isaac, be careful. Shooting them in the body didn't seem to work. Go for the limbs. Dismember them. That should do the job.
I gotcha.
By dismembering enemy limbs and doing extra damage.
Conserve ammo. While we're on the subject of Isaac, I just love his design. One of the things they teach you in art school is, especially when it comes to character design, is to be able to make your character look recognizable when you break it down to the most simple of elements. So, for example, if you just draw the most basic picture of Sonic, you can still tell it's Sonic. You draw the most basic picture of Mario, you can tell it's Mario. You draw the most basic picture of Mickey Mouse, you can tell it's Mickey Mouse. You draw the most basic picture of Isaac, while people might not be able to recognize him as instantaneously, anyone who has ever played Dead Space is probably going to recognize him right away. Like, the look of his suit, it looks more like a futuristic boiler suit or a mechanic's uniform, and his helmet with the glowing visor peeking through the cracks of it, and that's just a unique design for a spacesuit. It's telling when on the sequels for the box art, they have Isaac's face plastered all over it, so yeah, really good character design. I also love his hunch posture and the fact that he doesn't appear to be, you know, in super good shape. So really good character design there. Oh, and I completely forgot the fact that you don't have a heads-up display. All the important information is in his back. Like that spine there, that's his health bar, and your ammo count is actually on your weapon, which is really cool. It just better immerses you in the world. Oh yeah, and did I mention the ambience in this game is just freaking incredible? If you're gonna play this game, be sure to play with headset and headphones. It's a requirement. Alright, so we got stasis back. Which can be used to slow down objects, just like it says. It can also be used to deal with enemies to some degree, too.
Looks like that door is malfunctioning, Isaac. Try using the stasis module you just picked up.
Yeah, thanks, Kendra. I already got through it, though. So I guess I should mention that, too. So, Dead Space has limited inventory, which is a requirement for a survival horror game, I would say. And initially it seems like inventory management matters, as you only have so much room for health items, ammo, and stuff like that. But it's not long before you really open up the space in your inventory, and because you have so much space, it's not terribly hard to stay stocked with ammunition, health packs, and stuff like that. And there are even ways that you can exploit it too, like health pickups and ammo drops aren't really carefully designed like they are in Resident Evil. It's down to a random numbers generator, so what you get is completely random, and there are ways you can exploit that. For example, you have a 4-weapon loadout that you can equip, which you think would be good, but really you just want to stick with one weapon because then you only get ammo for that weapon, whereas if you have multiple weapons, you'll often get ammo for ones you don't need. So yeah, there's some problems with the inventory system in this game.
Your stasis module should be able to help you with that arm mechanism.
It definitely does go all in with the puzzles though. The way it makes use of... Oh, 1 second. And I gotta tell you, it feels really good to deal with those guys. The sound effects in this game are just so crunchy.
Listen up, car 8 is trashed. We managed to get it back to the repair depot, but now the autoloader is fried. I need a stasis module brought down here now. If we don't get this piece of shit off the track, it's gonna jam up the whole system.
That made me jump. Sneak up on me. Never forget to double tap. Never forget to double tap. Right there. Hit that with the stasis module. Make it stay in place because it's not grabbing it properly. Problem solved.
Replacing damaged tram car. Please stand by.
Isaac, you did it. The tram is blocking the whole system. When you get the computer online, you'll be able to call the tram from the control room. Faster the better. I can hear something crawling around out there.
Alright. I swore I heard a second one.
Placement complete.
Power nodes. Always want to grab those. So one of the things people like to complain about with Dead Space is that, given that it's a very combat-heavy game, people like to say it's not scary as a result. But I beg to differ, because just because you have combat in game doesn't mean it's not capable of being scary. I mean, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and Fatal Frame all had combat in them, and I would consider all those, maybe not Resident Evil, scary games. And you may notice when I was fighting those necromorphs over there, that's what the aliens are called, that I wasn't acting the way I usually do when I play combat-heavy games. If you remember when I was playing Resistance, I was laughing like a maniac as I was blowing away the Chimera. But I'm not doing the same thing here. And the reason for that is, like, I'm not getting a power fantasy as I'm playing this. Like, I'm trapped on a ship in the vacuum of space. I only have very little ammo. Isaac is pretty tough, but he's not very fast. And the place is crawling with necromorphs, so it does just enough to make you feel uneasy. Then you got things like this rushing towards you. Makes your hand tremble, makes you freak out a little bit. That's why I think combat is better in a horror game than, just running and hiding. Because in a situation like this, it's forcing you to face what is scaring you rather than just turning tail and running. We'll get more into that next week. I plan on playing a game that sort of exemplifies that mindset next week. But that's a problem that Dead Space thankfully doesn't suffer from. Some sections might be a little more combat heavy than they should be, and I feel like the game could have done with a more limited inventory system.
Isaac, I've patched into the
but I would still call it a
It took some work, but I've got the door to the
barely
main
a
bay
survival
unlocked.
horror
The
game,
data
just
board should be
barely.
somewhere inside.
Actually, no, I wouldn't call this a survival horror game. I've said that in the past. It's definitely a horror action game. See, that's a perfect moment right there. I saw that shadow moving, and that made me stop in my tracks. If this wasn't a horror game, I wouldn't be doing that. I get the sense
Isaac,
that
you still need
something
to
is
find the data
wrong.
board to the tram computer. It's in the maintenance bay.
I hear ya. Yeah, I thought you could sneak up on me. That, ladies and germs, is the purpose of the double tap. If you're unsure if something is dead in a situation like this, never hurts to be sure.
This is Benson, Tram Engineering. We think we figured it out. Smith killed one. Listen, forget about shooting him in the body. You gotta cut off the limbs. Grab a cutter, anything like that. Cut him apart!
Yeah, I got that. Make sure I'm headed in the right direction.
Isaac, it's Kendra. It looks like the door to the storage room is locked. There should be a key somewhere in the maintenance bay.
I gotcha. Where? Oh, hello. Alright, now there's more. It might seem like I'm dealing with these guys pretty easily, but as the game goes on, they start throwing more and more necromorphs at you, and some of them can actually be very tough, especially if you have the right combinations. It's also not uncommon for them to sneak up on you like that. They don't really make noise, and if you haven't noticed, the music cue doesn't go off until you actually see the necromorphs. And you may have noticed when you have your gun drawn, you can't see behind you, and Isaac doesn't actually have a quick turnaround function. Though this doesn't take too long to do, does it? I don't think he really needs it. You needed that quick turnaround function in Resident Evil 4 because that's how the game was designed. Oh, too close, too close. Okay, good. I thought there was something behind me. Yeah, you really don't want the necromorphs to get into your personal space. Though you do have a melee attack like that. It's not terribly useful, and the necromorphs are a lot like the xenomorphs. If they get anywhere near you, they're just going to rip you to pieces. And Dead Space is famous for its gruesome death. So yeah, I think the most famous one is one enemy will rip your head off and then it'll actually wear it around, which is pretty creepy to imagine. Necromorphs in general are pretty freaky, but I wouldn't call them the most original of alien creatures. Interesting fact about the necromorphs, though, they actually do qualify as zombies because what a necromorph is, it's an alien microbe that infects a corpse and then reanimates it, so that's actually what a zombie is. But I'm not sure why cutting off the limbs kills them. I guess the microbe is animating the limbs? I don't know. Honestly, there's a lot of questions I have about the necromorphs, especially narratively speaking. But they do get in to where these things came from. They're not necessarily an abomination of science or anything like that. But where they came from does raise more questions, like, are they supernatural? Is there something else going on? Oh, wait. Holy crap, you see the dude's arms coming out of that thing? I thought... Man, I've never looked at these things up close now that I think about it. That's pretty freaky. Always want to be sure to reload your weapon. And like, just the ambience is great because there's always some kind of metallic noise or machine running, and you never know if it's just the ship settling or the machine's running, or if it's a necromorph scurrying about in the air vents. And if you haven't noticed, they keep jumping out of those air vents over there, so every time you see one of those, you're concerned as to whether or not that'll be a necromorph spawn point or not. Just a lot of really good design with this game. Grab ourselves another power node. Get ourselves some health.
Use power nodes to upgrade your weapons and rig.
So those power nodes I've been collecting, I guess you can look at them as XP points. These allow you to upgrade your item, your weapons and rig to make them more powerful, more ammo capacity, stuff like that. But you only have so many power nodes, and they tend to be in short supply. And there are some rooms that you can only get into if you expend a power node, so it always helps to have one on hand. And this also plays in the New Game Plus. If you want to play the game again after you've finished it, go back, get more power nodes, and fully upgrade your gear, you can do that. Dead Space has a great New Game Plus mode. I usually start with the rig because, like, you'll definitely want the greater air supply later. I don't know if we'll get into any sections of the game where we actually venture out into the vacuum of space, but those are some of the best sections in the game because, like, you go out into the vacuum and you lose all sound except for Isaac's breathing, and that's just really creepy, especially because necromorphs are out there too, so it's just purely visible, vision-based.
That's it, Isaac. Take the board back to tram control and slot it into the computer array. That should get the tram system back online.
Not that way. Well, didn't see that one. And up we go. So yeah, I got a lot of health right now. You may have noticed that a lot of the level design is very corridor style. Now, again, some people might say that's bad design because it's just so basic, but for Dead Space, again, it is in service of how it plays, because the thing with the necromorphs is what makes getting their limbs so hard is you could have a narrow hallway like this, and you know you either have to take that necromorph out before it closes the distance, or you're going to take damage, at worst case scenario, die. So, yeah, good level design in this game too. It does open up at points like you saw earlier where there's a lot of ways the necromorphs can get behind you. So it doesn't always lean on that style. But it is an intense atmosphere as you're just moseying your way through this place, trying to survive, praying that nothing sneaks up on you.
Computer now online.
Sound effects are just so satisfying too. This game has such good sound design that, like, if this stuff should be studied, I'm telling you, it's so good.
Shipwide tram system reinitialized. All trams now operational. Tram arriving at flight deck station. Quarantine lifted.
Right. Mission accomplished.
All right, we're on board and heading to the bridge. Good work.
Strange. The quarantine just lifted.
Whatever was in the flight lounge must have left. That's lucky for us. Isaac, get back to the Kellion and prep it for launch. We'll find out what we can from the bridge and meet you there.
If we live that long, you're out of your league, Hammond. This is suicide. We're going to die out here.
Your lack of confidence in me is duly noted, Miss Daniels. But I have a mission to complete, and that's exactly what I am going to do, with or without you. Do we understand each other?
Just get us out of here alive.
Okay, that was a little strange how I cut back and forth between the two video screens. Weren't those two standing right next to each other? That doesn't make any sense. I'm overanalyzing that. Alright, so I guess I'm headed back to the ship now. I don't know, there's just something really satisfying about how Isaac moves, too. There's just this weight to it, how he takes his steps. And the way he holds his gun. It just feels very natural for him. It's just such a well-defined character, even though he doesn't even speak in this game. It isn't until Dead Space 2 that he actually gets a voice, though. In the remake, they did let him keep his voice from 2 and 3. We'll talk about that remake about the end of the video, though. Mind games now, huh? Fancy. Oh, hello. Now my inventory is full. I guess I can use one of these. Come full circle, haven't we?
Isaac, we made it to the bridge. It's a nightmare up here. No survivors. We're going to try to get to the command computer.
Were you expected anything less? Yeah, and the different shapes the necromorphs take. That also plays into the tactics you have to use, just the simple fact you have to cut them in a different way. It's just... And yeah, Dead Space is sort of famous for its wonky ragdoll physics. That's part of the game's charm. Alright, he said prep it for launch, easy for him to say.
What is happening down there? What happened to the shuttle?
Those are tunnels.
The
It's the only way
necromorphs
off
did
the
it.
ship.
Kendra,
No, Hammond! This changes everything!
just let me think. Can you access the command computer?
It's no good. There's an executive lockdown of all primary systems. Without the captain's authorization, I can't access them.
Well, where's the captain?
Here he is. Captain Benjamin Mathias. Location? Med lab. Status? Deceased.
What? How?
I can't access that information. Find the captain and you'll find his rig. With his authorization codes, I can crack this computer wide open.
Damn it. Isaac, I'm sending the tram back to your location. Get to the medical deck and find that rig as fast as you can.
What was that?
So yeah, as you can see, I can handle the necromorphs, but my situation is pretty dire here. Put yourself in this situation. Do you think you would be on a power trip here?
Buy new weapons and items at the store, and place extra items in the safe.
Alright, so here's one of the features that I have missed hands on, that's the store. So through the store, you can buy new weapons as well as new armor and ammo, health items, and even power nodes. And I get that, but for a survival horror game, it's sort of a misguided design choice. Now, some may say, but there was a store in Resident Evil 4, and yes, there was, but the thing about Resident Evil 4 is that was solely for new weapons and ammo, so you still had to make do with what you found out there, and in the combat scenarios, you often had to get creative with what you had. You didn't always have what you felt you needed in order to be the most efficient in dealing with your enemies. But Dead Space, you can keep yourself stocked pretty easily, so yeah, that is kind of a problem. Alright, so oh, this is my inventory. Alright, so I'm gonna make some space. I'm gonna sell this. And just so I can show you a different weapon, let's go with the line gun. And why not? Let's get ourselves a suit too. I really like that animation too, how Isaac just kind of gets locked into place there. Alright, now we got ourselves a little more protection, that's good.
Red weapon icons mean your weapon has no ammo in its clip.
Alright, so yeah, I only don't have much ammo for that. So yeah, fantastic so far. I don't need to save. We'll go a little bit further into medical. Just because I still got 5 minutes left on the stream.
Shh. Shh. It's all right, McCoy. He's here. Nothing to be afraid of.
Like those maggots.
I knew you would come. Just like you said. I saved this for you.
Well, that was more good.
Use kinesis.
I'm sorry, but those ragdoll physics, man. Alright, so now we got a kinesis module, which is mostly used for heavy lifting. I can't remember, can you shoot this stuff? Yeah, you can. You can use that to fling at enemies. It's really cool how the kinesis and stasis modules can be used in combat as well as in, what is it? Puzzles as well. Some good design there.
Pick up schematics to add items to the store.
Flamethrower. Okay, so that's a good segue into another issue that Dead Space has, and that's the weapons you get. So, stuff like the plasma cutter, that's the most famous weapon in the game, and the reason it's the most famous weapon in the game because that is the weapon just about everyone holds onto for the majority of the game, because it's very powerful, it is very effective in dealing with just about any necromorph, and like it's just a really good weapon. Now, I did pick up the line gun, which is also a really good weapon, and there's stuff like the pulse rifle, which is really good. But then you got stuff like the contact beam, which, while devastating, its charge period just makes it unideal for close quarters. And then you got stuff like the flamethrower and Buzz the Ripper, which require the necromorphs to get closer to you, which in a game like this where you want to keep them as far away from you as possible is just not a good idea. So you'll likely only stick to the line gun, the pulse rifle, and the plasma cutter here. So it sort of discourages you from making use of other weapons.
Isaac, are you there? We were attacked. Kendra's gone. 1 minute she was there, and I can't believe I lost her. We can still do this. Get me the captain's rig codes and we'll find Nicole. Looks like the crew barricaded the door to the emergency wing. We'll have to blow through it to get to the morgue. Get some thermite from medical storage and a shock pad from zero-G therapy. Should be down the corridor. Communication is useless in all this static.
Why would there be thermite in a medical ward? Doesn't make any sense. Alright, this way.
All weapons have an alternate firing mode.
Thank you, I knew that. This looks safe.
Hazardous anomaly detected. Quarantine activated.
Well, good way to show off the line gun. Hey, I don't see ya. Back up. Let's just get moving. We'll call it quits when we get to the next save point. it. Alright. Alright, there's our save point. Okay, I'm gonna exit out of the whole game because I do want to show you guys something. Okay, so, Dead Space. It still really holds up. I mean, yeah, it's not as scary as Fatal Frame or Silent Hill or anything like that, but, like, just as a horror action experience, it rarely gets better than this. The game world is really well realized, the graphics are fantastic, there are a lot of cool things with the gameplay, with the dismemberment system, the improvised weapons, and just how it's designed. We didn't even get into the zero gravity sections and some of the more intricate puzzles that they have. Dead Space is just a really good game, and if you never played it, I do highly recommend it. That does beg the question, though, what about the remake? Then that is a valid question. Now, I will say that the recent remake is the definitive Dead Space experience. The Dead Space does have a lot of problems, and the remake does address most of them. But at the same time, the remake isn't so much better than the original game that I would recommend it over Dead Space, the original game, if you have never played it. It's not like, let's say, going from the original Resident Evil to the remake, or a more fitting comparison, the Resident Evil 2 to the Resident Evil 2 remake. Most of the improvements that Dead Space makes are quality of life, and though they do adjust some sections of the game that were really bad in the original Dead Space, they also include some sections that aren't as good. So, for me, what it comes down to with Dead Space more has to do with the price point. So, let's look at Steam for a second. So, the remake of the game goes for $60, $70 probably if you want to play it on PS5 or whatever the Xbox is. And the original Dead Space is only $20, so that's a $40 difference right there. And again, if you feel like just getting the PS3 or Xbox 360 version, you're probably going to pay even less than that. And even here on Steam, every time there's a Steam sale, like, Dead Space gets down to about $5, so like, it's very easy to get the original Dead Space to play. So if you don't have the cash, I would recommend the original Dead Space. I would recommend the remake more to people who have the money to burn. It's more of a premium alternative to the original Dead Space. Don't feel like if you aren't playing the remake, you aren't getting the full experience, because there's nothing wrong with the original Dead Space. It has issues, but it is still aged very beautifully. Well, anyway, that's going to wrap up the show for the night, guys. If you enjoyed tonight's content, be sure to like and subscribe. I do these videos every week. Next week, all I'm going to say is I hope I have fun playing it. Anyway, I hope you guys had a good night. Have a good work week. Take care.